this is the part of the recap I've been putting off and dreading. Xehanort is hands down the most complicated character in this entire franchise, and this includes the girl who is literally a clone comprised of memories scrapped from the disembodied metaphysical heart of a teenage boy. We'll get to Xion next time, I promise. For everyone tuning in who have never played a Kingdom Hearts game before, this will be the most difficult character for you to wrap your mind around, I guarantee it. Well, let's start off with some basics. Master Xehanort is the main antagonist of the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise, and his influence has been felt through every single game in the series, even if it was primarily retroactive in the first game's case. He starts out as a young man on Destiny Islands who dreams of one day leaving to another world and adventuring, very much a parallel to Sora, Riku, and Kairi. Not really sure what it is about Destiny Island that makes him want to leave that place. If I were in Destiny Island, I would want to stay there for the rest of my life. He eventually does and ends up becoming a Keyblade wielder who is taught under the same master as another apprentice named Ericus. They both basically become brothers and are both named Master Keyblade wielders who have the job of protecting the world's light from darkness. This, however, didn't sit well with Xehanort, who was slowly entranced by darkness over his years of training, who ultimately decried light for being too tyrannical and deemed that balance needed to be struck between light and darkness. He researches everything about an event known as the Keyblade War that waged years ago before he was alive, and how the war was centered around a weapon called the Keyblade, which is technically pronounced Keyblade, but that's going to get confusing fast, so I'm using an alternative to keep it distinct from the generic term. This mentality led to a falling out between himself and Ericus. Determined to overthrow tyranny, he sets out to reforge the Keyblade, which will then let him access the heart of all worlds, Kingdom Hearts, and rebalance light and darkness across, well, everything. He finds an apprentice named Ventus and splits the boy into two different entities, his light half, still named Ventus, and his dark half, Vanitas, hoping that both halves will be able to become strong enough to fight each other and kind of activate a universal hack that would let them form the Keyblade without expending much effort. There's more to this particular plan, but I'll cover that when I get to Ventus, Aqua, and Terra's recaps, so the long and short of it is that his plan almost works. The Keyblade gets summoned, and he's about 40 vertical feet from Kingdom Hearts, and there's not too much in the way of stopping him except his frail old body. So in order to ensure that he can continue on, he possesses Ventus' friend, Terra, becoming what the fandom affectionately calls Terranort. However, his plan was foiled both because of another of Ventus' friends, Aqua, manages to destroy the Keyblade, and because Terra's anger towards Xehanort was so strong that his friggin' soul possessed his suit of armor in order to beat Terranort into a completely different world. Terranort crashes in the Radiant Garden, and Aqua shows up one last time to try and free Terra from Xehanort's possession. This fails miserably beyond repressing either of Terranort's sets of memories, and Aqua gets trapped in the realm of darkness, so kind of a bad day for Aqua, really. From there, he's recruited by Ansem the Wise and remembers enough to give himself the name Xehanort, which, really bad day for Aqua. Under Ansem's tutelage, he begins researching darkness and even experiments with it against Ansem's very firm orders not to. It's around this time that he begins impersonating Ansem in order to break into the castle's computer, as well as recruiting the other apprentices to help with his experiments. Eventually, these experiments are found out and shut down, but not before King Mickey gets wind of them and ends up at Radiant Garden to consult Ansem the Wise. He continues his research in secret and is eventually outed a second time, only for him and the other apprentices to turn around and chuck good old Ansem the Wise into the realm of darkness so they can continue their work unimpeded. His desire to gain control of darkness reigniting, he regains use of his own Keyblade and steals the heart of all the apprentices before taking on Ansem's name and stealing his own. As a consequence, they all become heartless, but they all exhibit such strong hearts and wills that the bodies they leave behind also become animated, becoming an entity known as a nobody. These 6 nobodies, Xehanort included, become the first 6 members of Organization 13, with Xehanort's name renamed Xemnas as their leader. Meanwhile, as far as we know, his Heartless, going under the name Ansem, is only one of 2 Heartless we've known to retain human form and sentience. Focusing on the Ansem Heartless to get him out of the way, his goal was to collect the 7 Princesses of Heart and stage a massive invasion of the Realm of Light with the Heartless in order to basically make a bum rush for Kingdom Hearts. He's mostly incorporeal through this, but picks up Riku's body along the way as he manipulates all the Disney villains to his ends. Ultimately though, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness as he's been so dubbed by the series, is defeated by Sora upon revealing the powerful light of Kingdom Hearts, and will put a temporary pin in Ansem for the moment, because this moment is incredibly important and we'll need to come back to it. Flipping over to Xemnas, his plan was to trick or force Keyblade wielders to kill more Heartless, which would then release those hearts and push them to accumulate into a new, much more accessible Kingdom Hearts. In order to do this, he created Organization 13, a group of nobodies who would help him manipulate the worlds and their occupants to his cause, as well as seek out some loose ends from back in his glory days as Master Xehanort. With the promise of giving them new hearts, the Nobodies follow him somewhat without question, though there's a brief uprising that is ironically dealt with for him by Sora getting stuck in the middle of things at Castle Oblivion. He's far less active from any of the other incarnations, as his plans have a natural lethargy and inevitability to them, allowing him time to explore different avenues, such as stealing memories from Sora to create a clone of him that would kill Heartless for him, using an organization member naturally gifted with the ability to wield a Keyblade to kill Heartless for him, and then just to straight up manipulating Sora into killing Heartless for him. By the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, he's almost succeeded, but Sora and friends have waded through his defenses and organization members, leaving him outnumbered. Additionally, Ansem the Wise crops up again, and as revenge for being thrown into the void in the first place, activates a machine that ends up backfiring and destroying the almost completed Kingdom Hearts. Xemnas lashes out at the heroes, but is ultimately defeated. Now this is where you might think the story ends, right? He's dead, both his Heartless and Nobody have been killed, right? Oh, if only. Alright, so Nobody and Heartless 101. When both the Heartless and a Nobody of a matched pair are destroyed, all that really happens is that both entities are returned to their original human state, the two separate entities somehow magically finding each other throughout space and time. So with the defeat of Xemnas and Ansem, Xehanort proper is revived, though it's oddly noticeable that it seems to be his original old crotchety body that got revived, not his young Terranort body. This might be in part because of this next bit, which is where things get really insane. So Kingdom Hearts has time travel. Yeah. No, we gotta explain that. I'm not gonna bog you down with the rules of that right now. Trust me, they're kind of complicated and there are a lot of loose ends created by it. Sort of. I'm just gonna hit the important plot details. So going back to Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, when he quote-unquote dies, in his last moments he slingshots his heart into the past so that he can confer with his younger self back on Destiny Islands. He tells his younger self how to time travel, where and when certain key events will take place, and the first makings of a plan start to develop. This plan involves creating 13 powerful darknesses by implanting shards of his own heart into a number of viable hosts. So the past Xehanort travels into the future and forms a second organization from these members, revealing that the backup purpose of the first Organization 13, should they fail to successfully form Kingdom Hearts, was to cull potential candidates for this second organization. Not only that, but previous incarnations of Xehanort count as well, so Old Xehanort, Young Xehanort, Xemnas, and Ansem Seeker of Darkness are all confirmed to be members, not to mention there's a possibility that Terranort qualifies also. All of this is revealed in Dream Drop Distance, where young Xehanort, using time travel, has intervened in Sora's Mark of Mastery exam and attempted to make him the 13th and final member of the new organization. This fails, because friendship, but the new organization is now the lingering threat in the universe going into Kingdom Hearts 3. They seem to be looking for 7 pure lights to counter their 13 darknesses, so just like back with his first attempt, he can summon the Kai Blade and slip inside Kingdom Hearts. And before you ask, why doesn't Xehanort just use time travel in order to automatically win? Time travel in this universe does have rules, but like I said, I skimmed over just about all of them in order to make this an effective character summary. Just know that Xehanort is using time travel to the fullest of his ability in the context of the games and his plans as far as we're aware. This is by far the most complicated part of the series to wrap your mind around, and believe you me, I have problems with understanding it, especially when all the potential paradoxes start cropping up. But I promise you, it actually does hold up under scrutiny, it just requires an encyclopedia of knowledge of the series in order to really grasp it. For that, I would like to recall my previous recommendation to watch Nscosplay series of videos on the franchise, their theories on Kingdom Hearts 103 in particular, as they break down every single facet of time travel in the series in detail. I know watching an hour-and-a-half long convention panel that was recorded on a camcorder isn't the best, and some of the audience can get a little annoying, but the presenter is charismatic enough to carry it even with that layer of detachment. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you do, remember to click that bell to get the actual notifications YouTube should send you with its subscriptions. If you think I missed something vital or want to discuss something with fellow fans of the series, leave a comment down below. Consider also becoming a member on my channel by clicking the join button on the YouTube gaming link that I have, so you can get a nifty little icon next to your name every time you comment on one of my chats while I stream. And if you want to support this channel, please check out my Patreon. For $1 or more, you get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server where critics and fans alike like to mingle. A loving shout out to each and every one of my current patrons who help keep this little channel afloat. Without you guys lighting the proverbial torch under my rear, nothing would ever get done, I swear. That's all for now. Stay tuned for the slightly easier subject to explain, though no less long-winded, the vital side characters from Twilight Town.